Okay, so I was gonna go and get all dolled up and, do my hair, do my makeup, and come and do this video. But you know what? That's not really what this video is about. This video is about gratitude. And I recently did a short and I was discussing how I have some trees on my property. And one tree, she dead. She's dead. She's not really yielding anything. The other tree was on its way out. Well, a couple weekends ago, actually, I remember doing a video where I told you all how I felt compelled to go outside, to ground, and to, I wanted to sit in the grass, and I really wanted to meditate. I had all this stuff planned on what I wanted to do, and I got all my things together, and then I go outside and I realize not only is the grass wet, but it's starting to rain. But I felt so compelled to be, just in that place, and in that space, that I said, forget it. I'm just gonna do my video even if it's raining. So I did my video in the rain and I felt good about it. That was Saturday. The following Wednesday, which would have been last Wednesday, all day long I kept saying, I need to get to the water. Oh, I need to get to the water. But I knew I had a full day. But I still felt compelled to go to the water. I get to the water and there are a lot of people there. So I did my video. I even told everybody, in the video, there are other people here at the river. So I'm just going to basically do what I'm going to do right here. But the whole point was I really wanted to put my feet in the water, but I couldn't because there were too many people there. I just resolved to the fact that I was going to have to stay where I was. And I did my video and I prayed. That weekend before, if I didn't say, I'm sorry, I was outside, even though it was raining, even though I couldn't sit and ground and meditate like I wanted to, I was still able to kind of walk around with my coffee and I prayed. And then when I got to the water on last Wednesday, even though I couldn't put my feet in the water like I wanted to, I was still able to turn toward the water and pray. And I'm sorry, I'm looking because my phone is telling me more light is required. So I don't know if this is even going to be able to see the light of day. But anyway, I'm going to keep talking. I finish praying and I finished my video and I finished praying and I leave. Fast forward last Saturday. I'm sitting on my back porch or standing and I'm drinking my coffee. And it is storming. It's raining cats and dogs and the wind is high. So I see, just the leaves and the trees just really moving. And during these times, I should add, every time I prayed, when I prayed that the previous Saturday and when I prayed when I went to the water, I was just telling God how grateful I was for my home and all those things. And I was talking to God about these trees because these trees weren't really sitting well with me. I just felt like at any given moment, they could fall. So I said, okay, God, if they fall, just please don't let them hurt my property or my neighbor's property. That's all, if they have to fall. Cause like I said, one, she dead, she gone. And they're tall enough and they're old enough that if they fall on something, they're going to do some damage. When I get up to go and drink my coffee and I'm watching this storm, I hear crackling. I'm like, what is that? Again, I hear it, but I don't see anything. And then out of the side of my eye or my peripheral vision, I am watching this big old tree literally fall. And when I tell you that tree fell in the exact same area where I asked God to make sure it fell, it didn't hurt my property. It didn't hurt my neighbor's property. It fell slap dead right against, well, I shouldn't say against, but right on the other side of my fenced in area. And it didn't touch anything. Now, it might have taken out a few branches on my neighbor's side of some of his trees that are basically overgrown on my side of the property. But overall, when I tell you I was so grateful, I was so grateful that that tree did not take out anything but the ground. And I ended up calling a childhood friend who does this type of work of like removing stuff. I think he's just a jack of all trades, a master of none. But I called him and I said, hey, you know, I need you to come and give me a quote. And the first thing he said was, hey, you know, this tree, so the dead one, you know, that one needs to go. I said, hey, I know, but that one's still standing. Let's talk about the one that's on the ground. Let's talk about that one. So he gave me a quote and, you know, everything in there. I was like, well, wait a minute.
I had to touch on you a little bit in order to get that down.
I'm being facetious. I didn't say that to him, but I was sure thinking it, you know. And I'm like, oh, that's a lot of money. So then I go to work and I'm showing my coworkers what my property is looking like or what this tree is looking like. And everybody was like, oh, how much is that? Is that, you know, they're quoting all these prices. My childhood friend had already told me, he was like, I'm gonna give you a good price. And, you know, this is a really good price. Again, I'm still thinking that's a lot of money. When I'm listening to my coworkers and they're quoting prices like,
ooh, that should be, what, 1,500? That's, you know, was that 2,000?
You know, I mean, they're going up there. And I'm like, no. And so when I realized, oh, baby, you got a deal. I'm just like, when I tell you prayer works, prayer works, prayer works. And I'm just grateful that I have the funds. Now, do I want to pay it? Hell no, to the no. I don't want to pay it, but I have the money to pay it. And I'm grateful that I have the money to pay it. So it's like, if it ain't one thing, it's another, right? Then last night around 1 o'clock in the morning, I get a phone call from my cousin talking about, hey, you got somebody knocking at your door at 1 o'clock in the morning? No, I don't have anybody knocking at my door. Yes, you do. You need to go check. So my neighbor is at my back door and my cousin is trying to tell me the story. They smell gas in the neighborhood. And the gas people are out there, you know, checking to see if there's a gas leak. Well, by the time I, you know, even realize what's going on, the gas company has already left. And long story short, what they think might have been was, sewage. The neighborhood could have just been smelling sewage and not necessarily a gas leak. Well, that had me up all night. I have not slept all night long. I have been worried and warned just about stuff I have no control over. I mean, absolutely no control over. Just a few minutes ago, my neighbor and his sister came over and they were like, Nita, you know your tree down. And if you've seen the video, you can't help but to see that, you know, the tree is down. And so, you know, we just started talking. And let me tell you, just having that conversation with them has given me so much peace. I wish I had that conversation last night. But it just gave me so much peace. And all it did was just not just reignite, but it just solidified, you know, how you are moving in your spiritual life. It's working. And not only is it working, other people are moving in the same vein. And so when I tell you, if you are moved to do a thing, do it. Do it. This is Vita with Life Her Way. Y'all have a good one. Bye, y'all.